Welcome in, Chargers fans. Big day for us. A little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news. Starting with the good news, we are free from the tyrannical reign of Joe Lombardi. Justin Herbert's average depth of target should no longer be 30th in the NFL. Our offense will no longer run stick on every single third down or unbelievably bad play design, route design, scheming guys open, making Justin's life a little bit easier. We might have some RPOs. Our run game will probably improve as a result of throwing the ball down the field more. Teams might back up a little bit, which, I'm going to get into that in a second, but we fired Joe Lombardi and Shane Day today. We did not fire Tom Telesco and Brandon Staley today, meaning that they will have next season to try and right the ship, get some of the fans back. Not a huge fan of that decision. I was in favor of cleaning house. Top down, ideally owners too, but that's not going to happen. But we have Telesco and Staley for another year, which means that we did lose out on Sean Payton, and top right is Frank Reich, one of the top probably 6 offensive coordinator candidates that I've seen for the Chargers. Shane Day, our quarterbacks coach, was also let go today. Really just seeing that bottom right picture of Joe Lombardi just makes me sick and happy all at the same time. But what I am looking for from our next offensive coordinator, we did fire our linebackers coach as well. There may be more firings to come, but I don't have a list of names, my own personal list of names. I've seen a lot of other people's. There are some pretty consistent names being thrown out there, but as a baseline of what I'm looking for in our next offensive coordinator, what I want them to do to our offense, to our team, to Justin Herbert, I want Justin to, one, do the obvious of raising that average depth of target, aka throwing the ball down the field more. I want him to be top half of the league, ideally maybe top 10. I want him to, I don't want to say I want him to not lead the league in turnover worthy play rate. Right now, he's best in the NFL back-to-back years, meaning he takes care of the ball better than any other quarterback, but that is a result of probably Joe Lombardi and Shane Day just drilling into him to take care of the football. Don't take risks. That's the key thing, taking risks. There is such a thing in football as a calculated risk. We need to take way more of them, especially since we have Justin Herbert. He is so accurate down the football field, and we rarely, if ever, even try and take those calculated risks, even though we have one of the best guys at it. So average depth of target, I want to go up. I want them to really push Justin a little bit, because it's going to be difficult to we're not going to completely change Justin's personality. He's still probably going to be not going to say much during interviews, going to say exactly what you expect him to say, the team first, rah rah, very little emotion guy. But the way that he played against the Dolphins and just that little bit of attitude that he had, I want our next offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach to try and bring that out of him a little bit more, even if it's fake at first and just a little bit of rah rah. I'm okay with that because eventually, like, that's what fans and teammates would buy into a little bit. I'm not asking for him to completely change his personality, but just the way that he was against the Dolphins, even though he wasn't saying much more, you could tell that it was an elevated confidence. I want that from Justin, the ability to take over games, but also give him the freedom to do that, to change the play at the line of scrimmage, to call hot routes, to throw the ball down the field, to take risks. And even if he sees, oh, this is just a clear out route, it might be open. Let me sit on it a tad, a beat longer, just to see if it comes open down the football field. Take a shot. The next thing, I mean, as a result of both those things, I think that our run game is going to improve. I see a lot of Chargers fans talking about how we should draft a running back in the top 3 rounds. How, I mean, some want to take a first round running back. I'm incredibly against that. But I think that our run game is naturally going to improve. It's almost just logical for it to improve. It wasn't great this year, but when you look at it, it really wasn't that bad. Like, we have an okay offensive line, and offensive line and scheme are the two things that matter for running the ball. Yes, having an elite running back, a Christian McCaffrey, a Nick Chubb, a Jonathan Taylor, that's going to give you a couple percentiles higher over the course of the season than a guy like Joshua Kelly, but it's not going to make that big of a difference in your run game. If a guy is athletic, which the Chargers haven't been good at picking athletic running backs, so the ceiling's pretty low, but if you pick an athletic guy who has good vision, willing to hit the hole, decent hands, doesn't even have to have decent hands because we have Austin Eckler. Yeah, you want them to be able to do a little bit of both, but still, I think that almost the running back room that we have right now with Eckler, Kelly, Isaiah Spiller, maybe next year will be suitable. But next year, if we hopefully, we throw the ball down the field a little bit more, have guys schemed open a little bit more down the field, even middle of the field, mid range, and not middle of the field, outside the numbers, honestly. I want to just see Justin sling it. But when that happens, naturally, over the course of the season, teams are going to start backing off a little bit, maybe a little bit less too high looks, or maybe a little bit more too high looks. I mean, maybe a little bit more off coverage, maybe a little bit deeper linebackers to start the play, or maybe their first step is back. I mean, like, with this year's Chargers offense, it was literally don't go past 10 yards if you're on defense because we're not going to throw the ball there. If it's third down, watch for stick. Your guy is going to run to the first down line and turn around, guard him. That's all he's going to do. Horribly designed screen passes. But if we throw the ball down the field more, the defense will back off. That will give us more space for, yes, one, the run game, but also Justin has had 2 years in basically the Saints offense, which is, as we all know, run predicated around short routes from 10 yards under, even behind the line of scrimmage. So Justin has had 2 years in that system. We have the plays. Justin has the knowledge of those plays to continue running those plays once the defense backs off. The best 30 plays from this season we can carry into next season. Like, Justin knows how. We still have Staley. We can continue running those plays, and they will work even better next year once we change the rest of the offense to attack down the field, have some more creative play calling, and make Justin's life easier. That's the biggest thing. Right now, this offense was built around Justin Herbert being perfect every single down of every single drive of every single game, and that is not sustainable. It wasn't sustainable, and the two guys on the right of the screen got fired because of it. Let me know what your guys' offensive coordinator takes are, or who you guys want the Chargers to hire. I still have some research to do on my opinions of that. I've heard a couple names, but I want to see their one, experience, and two, what offenses they've been with and what kind of effect they've had on those offenses. Um, yeah, I just want somebody who's aggressive, gonna light a little bit of a fire under Justin. Ideally, somebody with some experience to help Staley out because Lord knows he needs it. That should do it for this one. Sports with Schu. I will see you guys in the next one.